Hello, hello, this is Copy Who, and I am your host, Paul the producer. What am I doing? I was just starting out. I was like, okay, this has got to be uplifting. After my weekend, this has got to be uplifting. After that angry disgrace I put online, someone actually downvoted it. They didn't like the last video I did. I wonder who did that. You don't like me, but you have to say it. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. What's the matter with you? I'm very spaced out after this weekend. All kinds of things happened this weekend. I know I was alluding to you. I want to introduce you now to my television I renamed down here, and I've repurposed it. Right now I'm playing a set list from Eric and Darrell because this weekend was... It sort of all happened because I discovered who those guys were sometime in the last year and a half or so, I think. And so I went out there to meet those guys and wound up having a wonderful time meeting a whole bunch of other people. And so this TV is now repurposed and renamed. I'm calling it the Tracy Lee TV. That's just what I decided I want to do. These are all just so it's Tracy Lee Samsung. It's a Korean television with the name Tracy Lee, but the real Tracy Lee, she's probably like, what? Why? I don't know. I wanted to name a TV after you. I've never named any of my TVs after a person. This one here is called the Rise TV. That one there is called Tracy Lee Samsung now. That's just what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to repurpose this television on every show here. I'm going to basically play a set list, some kind of set list of videos on YouTube that have to do with some topic of the day on the show. So if I'm talking about certain Manosphere videos, I might have a set list where Ryan Stone is on there, Rollo Tomasi, Jedediah, Fresh and Fit, maybe even whatever. Sometimes just on the background there, you know. I kind of was inspired to do this. Like, this is the honest to God truth. I was inspired to do this by the concert I went to this weekend because I was overly stimulated to the max watching this. This beautiful concert hall had a giant screen behind the stage, and on each side of the stage they had these very large screens, and they were fucking freaking me out because it was so much sensory overload, especially during the first band's performance. I don't want to talk about that stuff yet. I was overwhelmed. I have like a whole list, and so early in the show right now, what I want to do, believe it or not, is I want to do the Rise because the new RISE, and I don't want to call it the Rise because I do want to distinguish myself from RB a little bit, MD from RB. And so I don't know, I want to say the new Rise, the new RISE, Tracy Lee Samsung down here. In honor, you know, you name things, you dedicate things to people who made the experience special. And so this is called Tracy Lee Samsung. It's an honor, I swear. Take it as a compliment. For God's sake, I demand you take it as a compliment. Oh, yes, it's so good to have that button back. All weekend long, I'm talking to people and I feel like not quite myself. I'm like, I want to be like, ding, boom, and there's no ding, boom. I need to carry a Bluetooth speaker around on me, and when I'm talking to people and I want to make emphasis, go, boom! And then they'll be like, what? Dude, what? Why? I do want to come over here and do this, my lovey-doveys, because I have been so short on sleep, and I am whacked out to the max because of the weekend I had. Which I'm going to get to all of it right after the Rise. You must simply understand that I can't do there. So I'm starting to cut a video. What's happening is I'm starting to cut a video of my weekend, and I spent hours on it at the Kava bar last night. And some of the people there were like, "Oh wow, you're here unusually late at night." And I'd never been there that late in the evening, and I actually loved the way they lit it up in there. It's beautiful. Anyway, different subject. I was cutting a video from my experience over the weekend, which is still very rough, and there's still a lot more I want to throw in there. And I want to take clips from the show, and so I want to have commentary today that where I take part of the commentary and then I cut to, I want to splice this in with that video I'm cutting, but also tomorrow, the video I'm cutting, I want to play up here, or no, not tomorrow, the next show I do, the video I'm cutting, I want to play and then do video commentary of my playing that video. I'm not articulating well right now at all, but I'm in pretty good spirits, all things considered, and I will get to how all this feels of my whole weekend. It was really a red letter weekend, okay? That's Larry going to the music store right there. And that's what made those guys, it seems, initially launch on their channel and stuff. This video of us is a stoner-looking kid. He's not a stoner, but he's a heavy metal kid with long hair going to the music shop. I'm thirsty, and I'm going to fill this. I'm going to get my little, whatchamacallit over here, my little stir stick. I love all the little rituals I have here. I know I say that every time I do a show, and it's like, it's in my head, so I'm going to say it. And you need to get off my butt about saying the things I want to say and whatnot. This is the other one from the other day, and I don't want this here right now. I want it out of here. Let's stir this puppy up. I'm about to go to the Rise. I know I haven't been doing this. I've been going 6 minutes. I want to get into this because I have a lot of things to say, and I have some things I want to pull up on the screen. I don't have pictures and things ready to come up here. I was just dying to do this show today, and I did some prep for it, but it's like not nearly what I wanted. So, yeah. Oh, gee whiz, man. Gee whiz. I want to go to the Rise is what I want to do. I want to take a good sip, and we're going to go to the RISE, the new RISE. All right, my lovey-doveys, be ready for me now. Are you ready for me now? I'm going to start getting it ready as I talk to you. Such a long weekend, and I'm about to get to explain all that happened, all the reasons why I had such a good time and whatnot. I sang karaoke. I went to a majorly beautiful concert and was overstimulated. And the first night I went out to this rock sushi bar where a bunch of these people were gathering from this event who put this event on. And it was just serendipity that I was there the first night. It was serendipity thanks to Tracy Lee, not the TV, the person, hooking it up. That's what I'm doing. That's the name of my TV. And yeah. So I'm going to bring this over here, just like I normally do. I'm so spaced out, you'll have to excuse me if I seem like I'm not moving at my normal pace. There is a reason, and it's because I was totally wasted out of it. And so here we go. This is for you. Yeah, boy. All right, then. Rise. RISE. Oh, I must channel that energy again. I must bring out my very best, even though I'm spaced out to the max. Wonderful weekend watching Winger perform, Lynam perform. The Velcro Pygmies is who they were also, Eric and Darrell. And here we go. Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason I honor Dio. Not Dio God right now. I'm talking about the man, the singer. Oh, yeah, baby. Coming back to the normal. But why be normal? I've got to get pumped up. I was saying before I started this, I'm like, are we going to rock ass right now? Are we going to kick ass? Like right now? Now. Yes, we are. Ah, yes, that's what I do now. I'm feeling, especially myself, being back here, and it feels therapeutic, even though it might not be interesting to you. That's your problem. And one of these. Now I can turn the screen to my phone off, because here we are. We are to the next phase of this. So I went to Huntsville, Alabama this weekend, and it was very fun for me. And you're like, dude, what? You don't have anything to show us? Like I said, the next show I'm going to have a video that I cut. I'm going to make commentary on that, and I'm going to try and amalgamate these videos. This commentary I'm making today, I'm going to try and mix with the storytelling that I play out visually in the video. I've kind of done things like that in the past, but my editing skills are, whatchamacallit, they are decayed. Yeah, it's a skill that has decayed for me, but I'm getting it back. I used to be like a master on Final Cut Pro 3. Now it's Final Cut Pro 10, and I don't nearly know how to function it or use it the way that I used to the old program. But it's getting better because I'm always watching videos on YouTube explaining how to do things. You're welcome. Yeah, so let me talk right now, okay? I want to first bring up this video right here. And I'll tell you why I'm bringing this video up, because this is the group that kind of put this whole weekend together, and I found it to be pretty cool what they have going on over there, their little scene, what they have.
Oh, here, let's do this. If you were on a desert island.
Yes, go down. Desert island.
Let's pull out the desert island. All right. You can only take one record
so
with
this
you.
This here I have discovered, yes, this man right here, Charlie from X5 Podcast. I didn't get super acquainted with him, but I did get the chance to say hi to him on Thursday night, the first night I was there. And I've been putting pieces together from all these people in Huntsville. Like, what's going on here? Like, he's very well connected, it seems like, with some people. And I didn't realize what happened was I learned about X5 Podcast from Eric and Darrell. And this may seem boring to you, but I'm just telling the story of my weekend. But honestly, so one night I'm watching Eric and Darrell live, and X5 Podcast comes into the chat, and it's like, boom, they donate $500. And I'm like, what? Like, who's this? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to check them out, see who they are, because they were someone who was expressing to Eric and Darrell they want to hook up and they want to do stuff. It seems like this guy Charlie here, he's putting together a creative collective of people, and he has a lot of resources to do special things. And so he's like bringing talented people together to do all kinds of fun things. And I just happened to be a lucky observer who came across it by happenstance. So I was like, who's this guy giving Eric and Darrell $500 or this podcast? I didn't know it was him. I went to the podcast and I saw this guy who's the drummer in a band called Lynam, David Lynam, and I'm like, David Lynam? And I ran back down to my basement and I pulled out the CD and I'm like, David Lynam. It's the same David Lynam. And so I was like all excited, like, wow, I remember Lynam. They're this regional band from that area of Alabama. They were popular for a good while, and they have a very talented guy in the band named Jacob, who I interviewed in the past when I was doing podcasting a couple times, I believe I did. And I used to play their music on the podcast, and I was super stoked when I was sent CDs by someone in their camp, and they were receptive to me as far as wanting to come on and do interviews and stuff, which I was really grateful for. But I knew the band had broken up, or they stopped working in the same capacity, or other career opportunities might have materialized. Anyway, let me get through to the interesting parts of all of this. And so I was like, holy crap, Lynam and X5 Podcast. And so I started watching those guys as well. It turns out these guys have a very cool bro vibe, and I was piecing it together over time. I'm like, what's going on here? Who's behind this? And so subsequent episodes of Eric and Darrell Live, I'm seeing X5 Podcast. Here's like a giant donation. Each time I'm like, holy mackerel, what is going on here? And so this fella here, Charlie, produced this concert this weekend where this band Lynam was reuniting, and also the headliner was also Winger, the band Winger from the 80s. And so I stayed at the same hotel as a lot of these same people, and wound up, they were going through the, the lobby of the hotel, and I was bumping into them and stuff like that. And so it was really kind of exciting. You felt like you were in the midst of people who had a really special weekend going on, and it really elevated so many things about the weekend, elevated the experience in so many ways in terms of fun and laughter and jovial times. Tracy Lee, not Tracy Lee Samsung, Tracy Lee, the real person. She was fun to hang out with there. And I'm all of a sudden pausing. I'm like, I'm not, oh man, gee whiz. Carry on. I have some stories about the weekend I want to tell. I didn't mention I was going to Huntsville last week because it's like, I don't want someone to rob my house when I leave town. I don't want, and the funny thing is I was just in Alabama where all these people have Southern accents. And so when we went to the Rock Sushi Bar, Tracy Lee and I, and we sat down, the waitress, her name was Danielle, and she's like, "How y'all doing?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I think I want to move here just for the accents. Southern hospitality is a real thing. They actually make the Southern accent coupled with the hospitality thing makes you feel like sort of special. The way they're like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's nice." So I was in the midst of all these people having a wonderful weekend, and it was just an amazing coincidence to be there. Somehow X5 found Eric and Darrell, and I was already watching Eric and Darrell, and then they hooked up for this event, and it was just a wonderful excuse to get the hell out of Dodge for me, honestly, because I've been so fucking wrapped up in knots here with some things that I have going on in my own life. This weekend, the point I'm making about this weekend is the first bit of time I was able to experience some joy in my life and let go and escape certain problems I have. Like the first window of time, and even there were moments when I was there enjoying myself and I had these thoughts about my life back here and I was like, oh, heavy. And so, but it really allowed me to gain some perspective and realize some things I wanted to do a little differently. Now we're playing another Eric and Darrell video down here. Let me tell you a little bit about the weekend. So the first night we went to this Rock Sushi Bar where I went with that young woman, Tracy Lee, not Tracy Lee Samsung. Maybe I'll just start calling Tracy Lee Samsung because I don't know, that just fits my strange mentality. There was Eric from Eric and Darrell at this bar. The X5 podcast guys were there, including this dude, Charlie, who was really responsible for orchestrating a lot of it. And I'm really impressed by this guy. I've been piecing together who is he in the context of this, because for some reason I was like, oh, it's David Lynam's podcast, X5 is. And it just turns out that they're all buddies doing a show together. And it's this fella, Charlie, who is behind the center of it. So I saw Jacob from Lynam at this sushi bar. I saw David Lynam. I got the chance to speak to a couple of them, and I spoke to the guitarist of Winger, Reb Beach. I spoke to the drummer from Winger, Rod Morgenstein. I don't know, dude, forgive me. It's the English language. I don't know what I'm doing. So I had a really good time that night. I drank 3 glasses of wine. That was the first time I had any drinks since July of 2019. So this would be like 4 years next month. I made it almost 4 years without having a drink of alcohol. And that first night was so fun. It was so unexpected. And I really had a lot of good times talking to people, getting acquainted with new people. There was also a fella, Caleb, who was a friend of Eric and Darrell, who was very warm, very welcoming, very kind, very sociable, and I appreciated meeting him, including their spouses. Eric's spouse was very, very warm and welcoming, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm not saying their names because they're not exactly the public figures. I know their names, but they were very kind, very welcoming. Darrell's wife was very warm and welcoming. Caleb's wife was warm and welcoming. So Tracy Lee stayed with a lady named Angie, and the following night we were meeting in the hotel lobby to go to the concert, where I was offered THC gummies. And I'm like, hey, how many nanograms, how big is the dose? Is it like 5 nanograms per gummy? And she's like, I don't know. So I was given 3 of them, and I just took 3 of them, not knowing what was in store. And oh my goodness, I couldn't function. After it came on for about an hour and a half to an hour and a half, I was incoherent. I couldn't hold a conversation with people. And we were sitting at the bar before going into the music venue. And I'm so lit, I can't even think straight. And I'm like, I wanted to ask for a bottle of water, but I was too chicken to ask for a bottle of water because I was so high. And I'm sitting at this bar where it's outside on a rooftop and the sun is shining, perfect timing, like on all the alcohol that's on the wall, the bottles sitting there on the wall, and the light is beautiful, the light is perfect, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And mind you, I'm stoned out of my mind from these gummies, and I'm looking at the wall, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my Lord, what the hell? It was beautiful. And so what I did was on my phone, I took all these pictures, so many pictures of the wall where the light was hitting the wall, and videos of the wall where the light was hitting the wall. And I'm just like, it's amazing, man. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a spiritual moment because like when the sun is shining and at this moment, this is like the sweet time. It was. You could see over time how the sun went from hitting the wall perfectly to it's not there anymore, and the feeling disappeared. And you can see, like, then the next day I'm looking at it when I'm not stoned, and I'm like, this is not fun in the same kind of way that it was just sitting there staring at the wall last night. But the wall was extraordinary. I can't tell you. The light reflecting off of the liquor bottles, and I was so out of it I couldn't even eat. I didn't have Tracy ordered all this food, and I was like, I can't even. It was like so dry in my mouth. I don't know what the deal was with the beans on these Doritos or whatever you call it, nachos or something. I couldn't freaking function. So anyway, I was staring at the walls, and it's like, in my mind, it's way more profound in real life than it really is. But this will be in the video because it's like, okay, here's what I was staring at when I was like, this is so amazing, staring at this wall. And it's like nothing. When you look at the photos, it's like, now, what was so profound about that? It's just the doors of perception that open up when you take some kind of drug. I couldn't believe it, how out of it I was. I felt so embarrassed. I have pictures of like people I was getting pictures with, and my eyes were seriously closed up like a damn fool. I looked like I was sleeping. I was like, hey, can I get a picture? And everyone was so nice and accommodating, to be honest with you. Everyone was very friendly. I was trying not to overwhelm people. I saw for quite a while Kip Winger from the band Winger was in the lobby of the hotel, and I did not go up to bug him because I just got this feeling that he's not the type of musician who wants to be approached by like overzealous people. So I did at one point the following morning say, hey, that was a wonderful concert last night. And he made a comment about being perturbed with the sound. And I didn't introduce myself. I could just feel he's not quite the type of, he seems like introverted or a shy guy, and I didn't take it personally. I actually know what that's like, not wanting to be bothered by people. And I didn't want to be that guy bothering him. My whole fucking deal is I don't want to bother people. So this is Charlie right here. Let me just go back here. We'll give you a sense for who this guy is. I get a really authentic, nice guy vibe from him. And I initially was like remembering his name because for some reason I was telling myself Charlie Brown. And then there was another lady who was the wife of Caleb, whose name is Sally. And I was like, okay, you're Charlie Brown's sister. So I have all these stupid ways I remember people and things because of Charlie Brown, the Peanuts gang. I don't know.
What would it be?
So yeah, there's David Lynam. There are other guys in this mix. I don't know the names of all of them, but they got a real bro vibe going on. And let's skip forward a little bit here.
Getting into that.
Eric was
Okay,
like,
and so
no,
here they
this
are
is
interviewing Eric and Darrell, and it's just a combination of things and people that works. you can see from afar like the creative collective that's coming together with these guys, and I really enjoy that. Nothing controversial today. I'm not talking manosphere shit today. I don't know how much time I'm going to have left later. I don't even know that I'm going to want to go to that because I'm just really into telling the experience of my weekend. That's what I want to do. And why not? I've just got off a really high weekend, and the whole thing with it was, honestly, it was so euphoric at times because of just the different people, the experiences, and the social aspect of it, and exhausting because you're just going, and you don't get much downtime to relax. I came home and actually this lady named Shalene Johnson, she's a Beachbody coach or a trainer, I should say. And she, I remember at a seminar of hers I went to once, she said, like, after you go home from a weekend like this, it's easy to get all stirred up and excited and like, oh yeah, I want to do it. This is awesome. And then when you come home, you feel like deflated and you feel like your mood crashes because of all these things that are uplifting. And that's exactly what happened to me when I came home yesterday. I was feeling down and out and worn out and sad. I'm like, I was hanging out with all these nice people, and now all of a sudden I'm back at home and it's like reality for me again. And so this right here is my escape. This is what I do for therapy, which I say on here constantly. And coming home from that weekend this weekend hit me like a ton of bricks, but I was very like honored to have Eric call me on my phone yesterday and talk to me for a while. Seems like such a genuine, nice guy. And I also called Tracy Lee and did the weekend wrap up with her. And you know what's really interesting is the story is not being told here. The real story is not being told. And it would make me look so silly, but it did put things into perspective for me here about alpha maleness and beta maleness, who I am and why, and maybe I'm like some kind of overlap of both of those things. I'm fucked up in the head. Let me tell you that. Nothing will like fuck you up in the head more than never mind. Yeah. Literally and figuratively. I cannot be specific, but so I don't know. Alpha male, beta male, what the hell am I? There are signs that I'm overlapping on both of those. And I'm not a simp, like, because I definitely kind of do whatever it is I want. I mean, like, I have these things right now. I can't say them because it would be like too locker room talky. And so the real story is not getting told here is what I'm telling you. But I had some wonderful experiences this weekend in more ways than one. I wanted to say that after I was stoned out at the bar, staring at the wall, I was like, okay, it's time to go see the concert, get into the concert. And the security freaked me the fuck out. I thought I was like, okay, here's my ticket, and walk right in. But security's like, excuse me, sir. Can you step over here, please? And they had me go through a metal detector. And then when I went through the metal detector, it's like, beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, stoned out of my mind. And I'm sure they can tell, because I'm so fucked up, that something was up with me. I was incoherent from the THC gummies. And then they're like, take your hands out of your pockets. They were really aggressive, and it freaked me out. And this is not a bit. This is not a joke. And they're like, take your hands out of your pockets. What do you have in your pockets? And I'm like, it's my wallet. It's my little case that I carry my reading glasses with. And they're like, oh, okay. And then and they're like telling me something like, that's what set off the alarm when you went through, was my glasses case. And they're like, see, they put it through there, and it was like beep, beep, beep. And like for a second I was like, am I in trouble? Am I gonna get arrested? And I'm thinking to myself, but I don't even have any drugs. I may be incoherent right now, but I'm very, well behaved, and I'm just walking through, and I'm just gonna watch. But I'm like freaked out. And that's not a joke. The worst part of my weekend was that experience with the security, because I was so I didn't expect it at all. I was unprepared. If I had been sober, I just would have been like, yes, I would have known how to deal with it. But so that part of that is my fault. Like, I had my eyes, I was told by Tracy Lee, and others could tell that my eyes were kind of like, I was doing that, and I'm not exaggerating. So I was freaked out. You know what I also thought it was? The first day I went exploring, I went walking in downtown Huntsville, and I was like, shit, if I don't get a hat, my head is going to get burned under this sun. So I went into this store, and I was like, do you have any hats? I need a hat so my head doesn't get burned. So she proceeds to show me 2 hats in like a baseball cap style. One of them says moon pie. And I was like, yeah, I don't want the moon pie. And the other one has like an American flag on it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm in the Deep South. It's cool to wear. Is it cool to wear the American flag in the Deep South? I don't know, but that's what I did. And so I went, I bought that flag, and I had that hat on a lot of the weekend, the first couple days I was there. And I was like, when I got pulled over by security, I was like, is it because I'm wearing an American flag hat and everyone thinks like I'm a white supremacist or something? I bought the hat for sunblock, honestly. And I was just like, so I was paranoid that I don't normally wear the American flag on my person. I don't have any problem. I used to have a shirt that did have the American flag, but it fucking I got glue or paint on it or something, and I liked wearing that shirt, but I don't normally wear it because people freak out at it these days. We are in such a strange country, and I can't go down that rabbit hole right now. The juxtapose of everything I experienced this weekend with everything else going on in the country and the world, me thinking what my impression of Huntsville as a Southern Republican state compared to Colorado and Denver. I didn't see any homeless people in Huntsville. I didn't see any trouble. I felt perfectly safe walking around, like completely safe. And then like I felt that way. And then when I went to the concert and I was pulled aside like that aggressively, I was in shock. So I got to meet many members of the bands and lots of people there. Reb Beach, the guitarist from Winger, the drummer from Winger, Jacob Bunton and David Lynam from Lynam, Charlie from X5 Podcast. Whether he knows that or not, it was a highlight for me to get to say hi to him. And if I had known that I wasn't going to see him again, I would have said, may I please get a picture with you? But I also hate being that guy. So there were a lot of people I would have liked to have had pictures with, but it's like, I don't like being like, can I? But I did with a few at certain moments do that. And they'll be listed in the, oh my gosh, they'll be listed in the, oh man. I keep thinking of these. Well, I go, oh my gosh, and you're like, what? But I keep thinking of these things that I don't want to say because it's more like a personal moment, but it was like a very intriguing moment. And so the concert night was so overstimulating. Oh, the other thing was I wore fucking earplugs at the concert because I was like, it's so freaking loud. My senses were overloaded. Big time. And that's not a joke. I was so freaking overloaded. So I put these earplugs in, and I was trying to talk to people, and I couldn't hear them at all. It was like being deaf. I would hate that for that to be my life. Like, what? I was thinking about. And so I'm like, Tracy, I apologize because I'm totally deaf. I can't hear you. And I just see her going, wow, wow, wow. Her mouth is like talking. And she wasn't, she could have said like, you are the biggest dipshit. I wouldn't know what she was saying. She could have said anything to me and I'd be like nodding along with it. Yep, okay. Deafening. And it's so on top of being stoned, which accentuates your senses, the sound, the visuals, everything. I was so overwhelmed with what I was seeing on the TVs, the flashing. I had to turn away from it, and I have the wherewithal in my mind to say, God, now I know how people have freaking seizures from shit they're seeing because it can be overwhelming, the flashing lights, like put you in a trance, knock you out, screw you up, I don't know. And then you're deaf. To top that off, you don't have your ears to guide you. You're deaf, and everything is like a big muddy sound, and you can't hear what people are saying, and it was extraordinary. I was deaf on top of being incoherent, and so I was constantly like saying, I apologize. My goodness. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to close out of this because what I want to do next is a little bit of silliness in the sense that I've been waiting forever to do this. I think it's okay to do this now, and I'm reluctant to do this. And I'm like building it up like it's some kind of major thing. It's not that weird, to be honest with you. It's just I am going to add Darrell Hazelrig on Facebook right here, right now. We're going to do that on the show right now. I'm going to do that with Larry as well. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to come over here, chat GPT, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add Darrell, and we're going to see if he adds me or doesn't add me. And right now I'm going to come up here and we're going to go to Larry. Larry Marsili. I think it's an Italian surname, so okay. Heavy Metal Kid walks to. I'm adding you, and my feelings will be hurt if you don't add me back. Just know that, okay? All right, let's come back over here and here. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to add those guys. I spoke pretty much about the very last day I was there. Eric and Darrell and their wives took me and a couple other people around. We walked around downtown Huntsville. We went to a record store. We went and we got lunch, and it was a nice time. They showed us a good time. And that same night, we went to another place where I drank some more wine. And Tracy Lee was there in the evening, and we all went to sing karaoke. Geez Louise, this very interesting thing really quick was that there was a junior high school that was converted into a commercial building where they rented it out to dance clubs and things of this nature. So there was a karaoke bar and there were breweries in there. The old gymnasium had the big containers that brew beer. And I was like, what a fucking interesting place. And it's like so strange. You go in and you see the principal's office there, but they have pool tables in it with people drinking alcohol. And you're like, what the fucking, where the fuck did you guys bring me? And it was very interesting. So we went and we sang karaoke, and I sang a couple songs on karaoke, and I was standing outside, and I was, what do you call it? I was warming my voice up. I went out to this parking lot, and I was like, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing this in the parking lot, and I'm going very high in my range too, and I'm doing it. And so thinking people must think I'm nuts or weird or something, but I take singing seriously like that. So when I sing karaoke, I try to get my voice warmed up, and I did an excellent job. And I was kind of blown away when I saw Darrell singing, because he has a very high range, and he was singing. I could tell he wasn't warmed up, but I was already able to hear him sing on his little show, their show. I always say little show, not meaning it in a disparaging way, but I saw him singing on their show. The dude can sing. And I could tell he has good pitch and stuff. And so he sang Steve Perry from Journey, and he also sung a song from Perry Farrell. And I don't know, it's like Steve Perry and Perry Farrell, the Perry thing. I don't know what that was all about, but it was a wonderful way to end the night. And I was procrastinating to end the night because I was like, as soon as this is over, it's over. And it's like I'll have like 2 hours to sleep before I got to get up and go to the airport and go back home to this. This isn't so bad, is it? There's Larry right there. Speaking of Larry, interesting character, that man. Now is your time, Larry. That's what I will say, because Larry, he talks like this. He'll be like, I was in this air band in junior high, and it was like the peak of my life. I peaked out early. And I'm like, do you see what's happening around you now? Now is your time. Make the most of this time now to enjoy yourself, because it seems like a very special moment for those guys. So I really love living through them vicariously, seeing what people are doing creatively. That's what I love about what everyone is doing there. Larry, the X5 podcast, Eric and Darrell, and these other people who were in the mix, Lynam, David Lynam. It was just really an interesting tie-in to things I've had experience with in the past. And so I was like, fuck, this really seems like something I want to go and do. And I'm glad I did, because I had a lot of anxiety pushing the button to buy the plane tickets. Not because of money, but because it's like traveling stresses me out, and that's not a joke. So where are we on my list? I didn't even tell you the most interesting things that happened this weekend, to be honest with you. And you're like, well, why don't you? Because it's private. You know what I'm saying? It's private. Maybe there will be more of these stories told in the future. I don't know. But right now I want to, in the tradition of an 80s nostalgia show that inspired me to go to Huntsville, Alabama this weekend to meet people, I wanted to come over here and do a brief then and now. And this is stuff that was posted on Instagram, and this is then and now. So there are movie shots of pairs of people then and now. And so here we have the beautiful Michelle Pfeiffer, who's looking stunning, to be honest with you. She has not fucked up her looks at all. I appreciate that. Because, you know, you got to age gracefully, and that seems to be what she's doing. I don't know when this picture was taken, because I think Al Pacino looks substantially more haggard at this time in his life. I need to keep drinking right now, because I'm like totally. Is it verklempt means you want to cry? I'm poached. Is that what it is when you're dry? Of course, Al Pacino from Scarface fame. That's an extraordinary movie. If you have not seen it, I don't know where you've been. You need to get out of your shell. Watch that movie. More Then and Now, okay? Okay, this is an interesting one. I have covered these two guys on here. Back to the Future. Marty! Marty! Great Scott! That's hard on my voice when I do that, believe it or not. So these two, I have a love for these two, believe it or not. Both of them for different things they did. Family Ties, Back to the Future. Jim Ignatowski on Taxi was Christopher Lloyd, was played by Christopher Lloyd. Love those characters. Oh, yeah. That's Derek Hazelrig right there. Tim Roth, of course, from what is that movie called? Crap, how could I not remember this movie here? It's one of Quentin Tarantino's first movies that I actually have. But that does look like Derek Hazelrig this weekend. He mentioned someone somewhere that it looks like him. So before then and now, and this seems like recent history to me. So when I see these guys much older here, I even think they're much older than this picture on the bottom here. I'm freaked out at the passage of time. That's what I'm always telling you guys. Okay, so crap, what the hell is this movie called? I've seen this movie a million times. Heroin Dudes. Another one where I'm shocked at the passage of time. And I think the then and now picture, the now picture is by now a then picture. I think they're even older than that. So, of course, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi right there in the middle right there. I'm forgetting his real name in real life. I should know that, but whatever. Tom Hanks in the movie Lost looks like he's talking to Wilson! And he's got Wilson at the bottom here. I didn't realize when I said Wilson that he's holding Wilson at the bottom. Tom Cruise, or not Tom Cruise. Did I say Tom Cruise? Tom Hanks. If I said Tom Cruise, scratch that. This is Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks I used to have a real affection for, and then as time went on and stupid things were said, I realized, oh, he's not the likable man that he is in his movies. He makes me nervous for a great many reasons. You, sir, make me nervous. Okay, this is Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, and I'm forgetting his co-star's name. I was gushing over her beauty on here recently during a Then and Now, and she has maintained her. I think now she looks more beautiful. In fact, this is not a good representation of her now, but she is a stunning beauty, and this dude's shaving his head now. I guess his hair must have fallen out. I don't know his name. But Then and Now freaking me out as usual. Doesn't make me particularly happy. I don't know who you are, so I'm skipping on. Except to say that you both still look pretty good. Oh my gosh, she's pretty. Friends, Then and Now. This one I have mixed feelings about. Oh man, dude. This one makes me sad because I think we're all still young. And we're all young like this. We're all beautiful like this. And then we get over here. This is not Now. I think this is a while ago because I think, yeah, you know, why does time do this to beautiful young people? It does it to all of us, then and now. You're depressing me. Onward. I don't want to go through the whole Friends cast, but they look substantially, they're not all there, though. You have Chandler here. Chandler's worse for the wear. You can tell he's worn out from his lifestyle and stuff. Matthew Perry, of course. The cast from the Lord of the Rings. Mr. Frodo! Where's Sean Austin? He's missing from this right here. He's on the top, but he's not on the bottom. Sean missed this party on the bottom. And, oh man, Elijah. I'm just like, Elijah could have been Harry Potter, you know, in a different world. For some reason, I think he could have. Oh, and this is the same picture again. All right, we're out of here. No more of this then and now, right at this moment stuff. I'm going to come over here back to this screen, and I'm going to open up another screen for you, something else I have that I want to come in on. I'm like trying not to pick my nose right now because it freaking itches. Where am I? 45 minutes in? My goodness. This is not a traditional show for me today because I just had that whole whirlwind weekend, and I told you the most interesting parts. I think I left the most interesting parts out of it, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's interesting what I'm saying at all because you're all living it from my memory, and it's like it would have been cool if I had pictures and stuff here, but that's why I'm going to have a short video. I'll play through and make commentary on that, and it'll just be quick in and out with that. Let's see, Jabba meme from whatever. I want to go to this actually, this right here, and don't you just automatically start playing. You stop, damn it. Oh no, you don't make noise either. You don't make noise till I tell you to make noise, dude. All right. Little slow on the mix, but this is like asking girls questions and they're revealing their dumbness. I do like it when people do this because it takes a while to gain this knowledge. I wouldn't necessarily know everything, but here's a beautiful young woman with a nice body. Let's see how intelligent or dumb she is, shall we? What? Play.
When the U.S. was founded? No. Take a guess. Around when?
Come on.
Probably like, I don't know.
No.
Like 1901?
Oh, no. I couldn't keep this beauty in my company because I'd be like, oh, my God. Here are some books. Start reading. like, and we're going to have a quiz. Good God.
Yes. Very good. It was close around there, but I'll give it to you. Who fought in the Civil War?
I don't know.
Do you know how many continents there are?
That's troubling.
No. How many states make up the United States?
How many states make? Dude. I know this.
You know this.
I do. That's crazy. I don't want to do this in a...
Say a number. Say a number.
What was this question?
You know this.
How many states? How many states make dude?
No. How many states make up the United States?
Okay, that's
How many
easy.
states make... Dude.
Jesus.
I know this.
50 ding
this.
dong.
I do.
I'm very bothered by the... It's like, yeah, what are schools teaching right now? Oh, Lord.
Crazy. I don't want to do this in a...
Say a number. Say a number.
I don't know.
No, you do know this. You do know this.
What the hell? How
You know who
could
the
you not
president is
know
right now?
that? You should be embarrassed if you don't know how many states there are. It shows you how disconnected you are in the reality around you. You come from a certain country called the United States of America, and you don't know how many states there are. And there are many clues around us, like in the flag. Every star in the flag represents a state, and there are 5 rows of flags with 10 stars per row. Isn't that how it is? I'm like, look, I'm not wearing a flag right now, but I look down at myself like to count to confirm what I was saying. Oh, maybe I'm as dumb as you are.
Do you know who the vice president is right now?
No.
The black lady.
Black lady.
Question?
That black lady.
How many states in the United States?
Yeah.
29, I guess.
29.
29? And he's in a fucking graduate gown. That's ironic. Hey, you graduated. You learned something. How many states are there? 29? Oh, give me the robe back, buddy.
I guess. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, you got it. You know how many states make up the United States?
50.
You know what the capital is?
Of
United States?
Harrisburg.
Oh, hold hold up. So he's asking a lot of people the same question. All right, back to our scheduled program.
Who fought in the Civil War?
The Civil War?
Oh, God.
Wasn't it? What's his name? Kennedy's.
How do you even come up with that answer? When you're trying, I mean, like, how could someone be so disconnected? Isn't that a failure of the public school system? These kinds of answers, like, no real history there. And so it's getting worse, actually. The history they're teaching in school is getting worse, and this is shocking to me. What do you mean? What's his name? Who fought in the Civil War? What's his name? Kennedy? Kennedy, yeah, Kennedy. Against who?
Kennedy against who?
I mean, like, if you don't know that, you're never going to be able to guess it. But that's disturbing how incredibly clueless that young lady is. What the hell? What? I mean, seriously? What? Oh, brother. What's going on here? Okay. Next on the list, be present for women. Is this a Jedediah clip? I don't remember because it was last week when I put it aside. Oh, so here we go. I want to hear. This is from Come On Man podcast, Paul Bauer, and I want to see what he says here really quick. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? We got to zoom completely out, brah. And we got to bring you over. I'm just having a little mixing difficulties, brah. Okay, here we go. What are you saying? It's a very short clip. We'll make commentary on it. It's about women. Specifically, my note is be present for women. I think I know what they're talking about.
Working with men, that's a lot of what we talk about is what does it mean to be present, especially with a woman? And most of us don't have any training in that.
Yeah.
Right? Most of us, we didn't have dads that knew much about it because nobody taught them either. Schools don't teach us this. Churches don't teach this. Society really doesn't teach it.
Well, you're just basically talking about when you say be present for a woman, like it's like you should be present for anyone you're having a conversation with, and some people are better at that than others. And let me tell you something. When you spend years and years and years and years and years around a person, you know, there's this saying, familiarity breeds contempt. You're around that person so much, you feel like they're saying the same thing all the time. And so they're talking to you and you hear bap, 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 and you're like tuning it out. But the truth is, people do want to be heard. So it's when you're present, there's a real connection there, and you're actually tuned into what someone's saying, and you want them tuned into what you're saying. So what I don't like about this particular video is you're saying women want you present. Of course they do, but people should be present for one another. I want a woman present for me when I'm fucking talking. I don't want her rolling her eyes or dismissing me and what I'm saying. I don't like that either. So, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. We'll continue listening to this.
So, but that's a humongous issue.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's probably also one of the hardest things that I personally deal with, because I have so much going on in my world that when I'm with my girlfriend, like sometimes I'm thinking about stuff outside the relationship. I have to force myself back and go, no, you're with her right now.
Yeah.
And so that's
well, like that's natural, dude. You're talking about it in the context of men and women in the same room, but women and women are probably like that with one another. Men and men are like that. Sometimes I'm very tuned into what my friends are saying, and I'm being receptive and hearing what they're saying, and I'm commenting on it, I'm connecting with it, and sometimes I'm spaced out. But so like what you're saying women want, I think everyone wants. Everyone wants to feel like they're being listened to. But there's also the point in life about you want to be considerate and you want to hear what others have to say, and that's like that reciprocation is where the real connection comes together. I care about what you're saying, and you do your best when you like someone to like find common interest in the things they're saying. So it's not just a male-female thing. And that's my only gripe with this clip, is you can expand it out to what I'm saying. People want to have connections with one another. I just had a whole weekend like that.
And she can tell, can't she?
I'm sure she can. She hasn't said anything yet. But
yeah, it's so easy. You're talking with her, and you're in your head, and
He's like, you're spaced out, dude. You're not really listening to me. That happens sometimes. It's called preoccupation. It's normal. It's natural. And like, you need to most of the time try to be coherent with what people are saying. I was not coherent on Saturday night when I took 3 fucking THC gummies. It fucked me up fiercely.
Or you're, who are the Bears playing? Who are the Bears going to lose to this Sunday? I'm in Chicago, right? So you're not actually there. And my wife can kind of feel like, where are you? And it hurts.
Yeah.
Right.
It hurts her, or does it hurt you? Because we should be allowed at times to, kind of be out of it. Like I just said, we need to be considerate and like try to be present for people at given moments. It's the right thing to do. But it's the human nature to be preoccupied at times. And so it hurts. It hurts who? It hurts her when you're not present, or it hurts you when she says, you're not present, you're not here. Instead of her, like it could hurt you if she's like, hey, are you all right? I notice you're not quite listening to me. Are you all right? What's on your mind? That's her being present for you. There should be a reciprocation thing going on there between people.
If you say, hey, babe, I got to focus on a project or something and I can't be with you right now. Okay, I think they understand that. But when you're with her, but you're not with her, that drives them insane.
And this is, I keep going back to how this is all one-sided. Like, but I can also imagine having had such company in the past where I was like exhausted with the people, you start to tune them out. And that's why you take people in doses. Certain amounts of people at certain times. You don't get tired of one another. That's why living together is so incredibly hard, because if you're not the right mix, the right pair, that's going to be a pain in the butt. I've seen it. I've also seen people get along beautifully. I've had company where I can be around people for days, and silence should be comfortable. So when you're not present, they're making that uncomfortable for you. Instead of like maybe on your side, if you're present for me, you realize, hey, I recognize this person. I'm reading you. You're not quite here right now. I will give you some space and I won't make you feel guilty about it. Just personal experience here. You know what I'm saying? Continue on. Let's finish up this clip.
So it'd be just the same as a business environment. You're there at a business lunch, but you're not really there. You're kind of playing golf in your head or something.
Right. Yeah, it's just rude, I think, for anybody. Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Okay, that's it for that right now. If you want to check out Paul Bauer, he does Come On Man podcast on YouTube, and he's got some good content. I like listening to him. He might be more of an alpha than me. I kind of am having these thoughts, God, especially after the weekend. There are some definitively alpha men, and there are different kinds of alpha men, but I don't think it's a one-size-all description. Like there are areas in which men are weaker and less confident, and there are areas in which they are super confident. So when I get on stage and sing, I feel like I'm an alpha. When I do this, I feel like in my context here alone in the room, I'm an alpha. But I don't know if you could say it's an alpha when it has something to do with the way you relate to the other, especially the other female sex is what I'm talking about. Shit, I became a beta really quick when security pulled me over. I was like, oh my God. So you can't definitively be one. I think you're part alpha, you're part beta. They're both concentric circles, and they overlap somewhere there. I refer to that a lot. I think concentric circles are a very good metaphor to describe life in so many ways. Am I at 58 minutes for real? Okay, shit. I need to wrap this up. I will be playing a video coming up soon of my experience to Huntsville, and I'll make commentary on that, but I'm not going to go into the long spiel of my weekend. I'm going to take part of this one and put it into my video, and then I'm going to play that video back on here, and you can kind of have a feeling of my experience over the weekend, which was very good for me. And I will be learning and growing what I'm doing here. I'm going to have Tracy Lee on here eventually as soon as I figure out the audio, and because she's a good sport and she's fun. And so I want to have her on here. Funny, sense of humor, and easy on the eyes is what I like to say about her. And that is certainly a compliment. Fun to look at. You know what I mean? As a man, fun to look at, top to bottom. All right. I got to wrap this up for the day, but I'm glad I'm back home, and yeah, we'll see. If you like what you see here or hear here, subscribe to the show. Listen, watch once in a while. Subscribe to the clip channels. It's Copy Who Clips, at Copy Who Clips on YouTube is the handle. And I'm regularly going to the Kava Bar and clipping out for that now. And I need to post some of the new ones I have clipped out up there. But anyway, if you like the videos for me, please. Comment in the comment section. Engage with me, and I will respond to you. I have nothing better to do right now. You're so lowly, I'll just be like, okay, I'll take it. Let's see what we want to say here. I'm very glad I did this today. I got up and got it out of the way, everyone. I mean it when I say it. Peace be with you all.